family. My name's Shelly, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'm grateful to be an alcoholic and an addict. So it's been a couple weeks since I posted anything. Didn't get much hits on the part 2 of my story. So if you're interested in hearing somebody else's story, the links to the part 1s and the links to the part 2 are in the description box. So this is the Sober Psychic. The only thing relating to anything psychic that I do is post a short of a oracle card, angel messages or healing energy messages, what have you. I do that every day. So I'm still learning because I have another channel I'm building up as well. So I'm still learning the dates and times and schedules of when and how many videos to put up. So I do apologize for not being here. I did post all 12 signs readings for the month of August on Healing Truth Tarot. So that link is also in the description box if you're interested in looking at some tarot readings. So anywho, I was sitting around, not really sitting around, I'm very busy, but I was sitting here thinking what topic we should talk about in my next video, and the subject of gratitude kept coming up in all of the support groups that I was attending, so I almost missed it. Almost missed that hint from source, from higher power, but excuse me, I got a little, sometimes spirit will yell at me and say, hello, you were asking and we've been telling you. So it is gratitude, and a lot of people go, ugh, when they hear the word gratitude for a topic. So there's different types of gratitude. For me, the gratitude was fake it till you make it. Writing the gratitude list, writing the gratitude list when things were going really, really awful, and writing the gratitude list when things were going well, which is, I mean, a gratitude list is just really important, and it doesn't have to be written. So I am at the point where, I mean, occasionally I'll write it down if I'm really struggling that day to focus on what to be grateful for instead of what I think is going wrong in my life, because the truth is, anything that is not going the way that I want it to, there's a reason for that. I'm being directed to do something else, and I'm very hard-headed and very stubborn and very focused. When I go after something, I go after it. I don't mess around. So I've been going after this YouTube thing, and I'm having all the fun. And you know, I did a lot of service work in the 7 years I've been sober, secretarying support groups, organizing support groups online. I did one for 3 years when COVID started. And I just want to remind that we were being directed to slow down and take a look at ourselves for a very long time. And there's this, I can't mention the name of the movie. It's very, very, very popular movie. But there's this movie where the characters are getting on this airplane or spaceship, to go to their assigned boot camps, so to speak. And this one guy gets on the plane, and he doesn't want to be there. This is his last resort. And he won't sit down. And he keeps being asked to sit down. And finally, this military girl says to him, either you sit down or I'm going to make you sit down. And that is what we got when the pandemic hit us. We were forced to sit down. I saw a lot of people come into recovery. It was a beautiful thing. Some of my friends died during that time. Some of my friends went back out. They just disappeared, never came back. So there's no guarantee that going back out to use drugs or alcohol, that you're going to, I'll just come back when I'm ready. It doesn't work that way all the time. So we take the loss of these people, and we're grateful for it. The loss of these people. that could be us. Higher power saved my rear end countless times. Countless times. And when I get to the third part of my story, I'll share some of that. But it comes to a point where when you're, and as consistently as I can, because I'm not a very focused person. Like I said, if I get focused on one thing, everything else falls to the wayside. It's a character defect I'm working on. But as consistently as possible, if we can write down these things that we're grateful for, even if they're mundane things, my kids, not that kids are mundane, but everyday things. My kids, my shoes, my bed, my couch, my TV, my fire stick, my this, my that. And write these things down. And then I've been writing my gratitude list for years. Since the pandemic. So about 3 years I've been really doing it. And not every day. And I already admitted that. I'm just not. That's not who I am. An everyday person. I don't do anything that's tedious. It just irritates me. Real jobs are tedious. And I had real jobs, but they were tedious. And that's just an Aquarian trait. I just don't like real jobs. It's too confining. And I need to use my creativity when I work. So, anywho, I've been writing these lists down fairly consistently for about 3 years. And I think the last time I wrote one, I did write in my gratitude journal a couple of weeks ago. And it's something I've been working on. Not that I mind writing the list, but when I'm grateful for something, I want to mean it. I don't want to write down mundane things, my shoes in my bed and my couch. I want to be grateful for the leaves on the trees. I want to be grateful for that beautiful house, kitty corner for me. I look out my window, it's perfect to me, it's beautiful. The lawn is green, things are kept up every week, the weeds are pulled out, the house is clean on the outside. The trees are right in front of it. It's beautiful to me. Today I went to the store to take care of some business, and on my way home I looked up and I've been noticing the clouds. Maybe I just wasn't noticing before. I've been noticing the clouds making these very expressive shapes. Not necessarily the shape of something, but they're just beautiful. And maybe I just never noticed it before. I don't know. I have a beautiful red maple. I'm looking right at it right now. It's beautiful. The leaves are gorgeous. It's full. And they'll be the last leaves to fall before winter hits. When the snow comes, I look outside and I see that beautiful first snow. And honestly, I could do without it after that. Oh, we got snow once. That's great. Can we be done now? That's... I don't like the heat, but I don't like the snow either. But when I'm sitting here and I'm complaining about the snow, I'm still able to look outside and see the beauty of that whiteness. And when it's hot and the humidity is 89%, I can still be grateful that I have fans to blow on me, that I have proper clothes to wear in this type of weather, that I have a roof over my head when it rains. So there's a lot of things to be grateful for. So when we are consistent with our gratitude, whether it's in your head or written on paper, but writing it, there's a beauty to handwriting something. That's an art that's going to be lost at some point. Everybody's just going to type or text, period. No written anything. But for now, there's a beauty in handwriting something. So that's why I like to write my stuff down. And I still do it. I just don't have to do it all the time. When things suck, higher power's given me this gift of it. I feel like I've been trained in a way because of the consistency with the gratitude list. I've been trained in a way. My brain has been trained differently than it was when I was drinking and drugging. It's been trained to see the goodness in something, the beauty in something, even when I feel like stuff really just sucks. That's the type of gratitude that gets that energy of us up. And we start to shine more. And remember, there are haters. People hate people who shine because they don't. And there's people who want their face in your space because you shine, because they want some of what you've got. We call those energy vampires, in case you've never heard any of my other little talks that we have here. Beware of the energy vampires. Don't be afraid to walk away from people who suck the life out of you. Okay? So gratitude literally comes from here. Literally comes from here. And at some point, if you are able to be consistent with being grateful, then it will become something that's natural to you. The things that seem awful won't feel that way for as long. When something awful is happening around me, or something I perceive to be awful is happening around me, I'm in better space a lot quicker. Because I get to focus on what I'm grateful for, the things I appreciate. So I used to write appreciation list. I really don't even call it a gratitude list. It is an appreciation. What do I appreciate? Yes, I appreciate my children. I definitely appreciate sobriety. But I feel like being grateful as much as possible. Progress, not perfection. Nobody's going to do it perfectly. I'm not, just because I've learned how to be grateful in the midst of stuff that feels bad, doesn't mean I'm perfect at it. I still have to remind myself to do it. Sometimes. Because I'm a human being. I don't do anything perfectly, except for the first step of admitting I'm powerless over alcohol and drugs and that my life is unmanageable. That's the only thing I have to do perfect. And if I'm not doing that on any given day, then I need to call my sober support person, my sponsor. I'm going to use the words, my sponsor. I need to go to a support group if I'm feeling like maybe I could have a drink, or maybe I'm thinking about drinking too much. That only happens when I'm sitting on the pity pot. That only happens for a while. That only happens when I'm not being grateful for something around me, even the mundane stuff. And sometimes I have to write down the mundane stuff to remind myself that I could be in a position where I don't have any of those things. I can sit here and complain about how long it's taken my doctor to do what he or she needs to do. I can sit here and complain about I don't have the exact types of foods I want to eat right now. I can do that. Guess what? I have food. What I want is coming. But I have food. What I need from the doctor will be here. It's just taking extra time. I'm just impatient. And the only reason I become impatient is because I'm not giving it up to something bigger than me. There was a situation where one of my family members was sober for a while, over a year, and something happened and they went back to drinking. I wanted to say something in the worst way because I never wanted to see my family in the mental and emotional pain that I was in when I was using. But I kept my mouth shut. Source kept saying, keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. That came directly from Source. That wasn't even from my spirit guides and my angels. Source said, be quiet. And one day I said, okay. Because I can't deal with the worrying. I can't do it anymore. I'm too old for that shit. I want to spend the rest of my years knowing how to be grateful. I want to spend the rest of my years knowing how to talk myself down from feeling like I need to control things. Because the truth is I have no control over anybody but me. So what happened was I finally said, I'm going to leave it to you. Talking to my higher power. I'm going to leave it to you. And don't you know, not 2 days later, they came to me and said they knew what they were doing and they knew it was wrong, and they stopped doing it. They stopped drinking. Because I left it to higher power. So, we're going to worry. We're going to be upset. We're going to be angry. We're going to be vengeful. Sometimes we're going to be toxic. Sometimes we're going to be rageful. But the longer that we can practice, not just staying sober, not just staying clean, but the longer we can practice being grateful for at least one thing and focusing on that gratitude, the longer we practice that, the better we get at pulling ourselves out of those awful feelings surrounding situations we have no control over. You know, in sobriety, I have issues with financial stuff. And last night, I felt like a freight train was coming at me with a situation in my life that I caused. That was me. I did it. And I've been in this situation before. And I needed to make a decision on, am I going to feel like this every single month? Do I want to feel like this every single month? Or am I just going to take care of the business I need to take care of? All that other stuff that, like, I'm an impulse buyer. I get upset, I go straight to Temu. Seriously. And rack myself up a bill and then pay it off in 4 installments. So I put a sticky on my computer, on my laptop, and it says, no impulse buys. Do you need it or do you just want it? And I look at it. I can't help it. I have to look at it. It's right in my face every time I look at my laptop. So there's ways to set yourself up to do better, to be reminded. And honestly, sticky notes don't work forever. That's just the truth. Sooner or later, they just become background. You don't really even see them anymore. But for now, I've been given the forethought of looking at that yellow piece of paper and reading it regularly, even if I'm not trying to impulse buy something. So I did make a decision last night that I'm not interested in feeling like crap every month, because I feel bad when I don't do what I'm supposed to do. I feel awful. So pay attention to your feelings. If it feels awful, you probably shouldn't be doing it. If it's something you created. And if it's something else, if it's something somebody else created, you don't have to feel awful about that either. But it does take practice. And I'm never going to tell you any of this is easy, because it isn't. We are rewiring our brains to behave differently. I see all these people around me trying to feel better on the inside from all these external things. And I can be that person. Happiness comes from here. What are you grateful for? Let me know in the comments. You got something you're grateful for? I would love to hear it. And to be honest with you, when you tell someone else what you're grateful for, it's even better. It makes you feel even better. So I'm done running my mouth. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I will, I've made a commitment to do this at least once a week on this channel. Okay? I'm just figuring out how to balance. And I also, honestly, I had to figure out what I would be mentally and emotionally and physically capable of. This stuff looks easy, and I mean, the videotaping is, or the videos, it's not hard to make a video. But the other stuff, and then, you know, I'm still working through fear with this. And I asked myself, what the hell are you afraid of? You got this. Source has got you. Higher power's got you. Spirit's got you. You're good. And you can tell yourself that too. Somebody, you're always supported. You just have to ask. Whether you're asking a human being or you're asking your higher power or your spirit guides or whatever you believe in. Jesus. All you have to do is ask. Your angels. Your angels want to hear from you. They want you to ask for help, for guidance. Just be open to it. Thanks for showing up, you guys. Blessings.